5 things to look for in a godly partner.
Number 1, they encourage you to obey God.
Number 2, they lift you up in Christ.
Number 3, they care about your relationship with God.
Number 4, they always seek God.
Number 5, they pray for you and they pray with you.
This is why women are single. They don't want to please a man. They want to please themselves. And when you please yourself, you end up what? Lonely. You be in the bed at night. Man, I sure wish I had somebody in here to cuddle up. But yeah, that last man said, hey, look, I don't want you to do this. And you said, look, I'm my own woman. I can do what I want to do. Hey, I want to see these comments.
And you'll have a lot of these modern women that will ask about chivalry. They'll ask about a man being traditional, right? But the issue is, when the man was giving you flowers, you were rolling your eyes at him. You was giggling, you was laughing. You know, a man go and open a door for you, he get a lecture on how you're strong and independent, and you don't need no man, and thanks, but and whatever other stupid stuff that you want to come with. Oh, well, thanks, but you know, I really don't need that, so I don't want you holding on my hand. I wasn't going to do that. I was just being a gentleman like I was taught. When men continue to come up against that attitude over and over again, why in the world would they keep on going in that direction? Why would they keep on doing that? Why would they keep on giving you the benefit of him being a gentleman and you're just going to act stupid?
Okay, if you've ever had a guy say that he's just like too busy right now for a relationship, like he's not ready, this is exactly what this means. So he is waiting to be at a point where his finances are right. He's got the car, he's got the house, maybe he's got the nice job, he started a business, something like that, because he's waiting for that moment that he has leveled up so high that he can actually get the girl he wants now. So when he tells you that, it's taking as a sign that he doesn't want you, because he's waiting to be in a stage of his life that he can actually get the girl he wants. So you really gotta believe him when he says it, babe, because it's really true.
The reason that women don't get caught cheating, because the dudes that they dealing with know how to stay in their lane. This is an example, real quick. A guy coming to a woman at a grocery store, he say, yo, you look good. Can I get your number? Just say, yo, she's honest. I got a dude. Call me on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, right? And the dude will be like, yo, no problem. And he'll play by the rules, flip it around. She say, yo, I'm feeling you. Can I call you? He says, yeah, but I got a girl. They kick it. They hang out. She starts emotionally getting attached to the guy. And then she starts calling him on off days because she don't know how to stay in her lane. And that's all facts right there.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. And you know, it's funny because a lot of these modern women, they'll come to a first date with a list of things, literal lists of things that they're expecting from a guy. I want you, I want you, I want your therapist. I want the exact number. I want the exact number of therapy sessions that you've gone to within the last 3 weeks. How long were they? What object lessons did you learn from that? Which the object lessons I really don't have a problem with, but they want to grill you on the questions that they want to know. But all it takes from you is one question. 2 questions. One question, actually. Let me jump it back down to one question. What do you bring to the table? And then the date is over. They beat and ask you about your family history. And then one question is like, oh yeah, you're pretty thorough. Now, let me go ahead and ask you. What do you bring to the table? Oh man, it's so...
Most women don't want chivalry until they experience it. Chivalry isn't about control, it's about character. For most history, chivalry has meant 3 simple things: respect, protection, and responsibility. Opening the door was not the point. The point was this, is that men should make people around him feel safe, respected, and valued. When a woman experiences that, she usually wants more. So chivalry isn't dead, it's just becoming more rare. So I want to hear from you why you think that is.
And one of the things I don't think modern women understand, or they don't want to really give men credit for, is a man being competent. Right? And so they think the way they do things is the more competent way. And they'll sit up in your face and talk to you as if the stuff that you're doing is wrong. Like, God forbid, I don't need art and decoration and all this other stuff. I mean, it's nice to have, but I don't really need it in my apartment. That's not a need. Well, you don't have all these foods, this, and this in your apartment. It's just me. Why would I have a fridge full of stuff that I'm not going to eat? I have the food that I eat. Oh man, you got this, you got that. You only got ground beef and rice. Is there anything that else I actually need? I mean, yeah, I can switch it up and find some other stuff. But there was one woman upset about trainers telling them what to eat and how to operate at a caloric deficit. Basically, as I think I remember it. They don't know women's bodies. What? So they say a lot of stupid stuff. They try to act like men aren't competent, when really it's just that he doesn't do it the way that you want him to do it. He doesn't allow you to get away with stuff that's not actually true. That's not actually true.
You'll stop avoiding the women you want once you start doing this one specific thing. What most men do before they approach a woman is they focus on the worst case scenario. So all you have to do is make that a lot less scarier. Let me explain. Women already let men off easy because they don't want you to be emotionally reactive to rejection. So 90% of the time, if a woman's not interested in you, she'll just tell you she has a boyfriend, to which you assure her it's not a big deal and you tell her to have a good day. So take a second and realize that that's what you're scared of occurring. But you already know how to handle it, and you took action on something that you told yourself you wanted to do. And then moving forward, working on your game and putting in more action, therefore allowing you to grow in a new comfort zone. Follow for more value.
A lot of these modern women make dating impossible, right? I think men just get tired of doing everything on the date, having to plan it. You know, if you're not careful with a lot of these modern women, you can end up being 10, 15 years into the relationship, and you've been pretty much doing everything. Pretty much. I plan the dates, I cook, I clean, I go to work, take care of the kids. I'm involved. I mean, I might not do every single thing, but I have my hand in every single part of the relationship. Cooking, cleaning, taking out the trash, fixing the cars. You take the kids to soccer practice, I take the kids to soccer practice too. You cook dinner, I cook dinner too. Take the kids to doctor's appointments and keep them when they're sick, I do the same thing. So there's a lot of men out there that, while these modern women are saying that men are not involved, they actually are. In a lot of ways, they're actually more involved than the woman is. And when you bring that to her attention, she's like, yeah, actually, that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be doing way more work than me. What? Yeah, you're the leader of the home, so you do way more work than me. That gives me time to be free and be creative. Right, but what are you doing in your time of being creative? I'm creatively selecting more shows to watch. I'm creatively trying to figure out how to make your life harder.
Ladies, unfortunately, men are predominantly not asking women out now in real life as a whole. It's not your fault. It's actually the dating apps that's the biggest culprit. Men are, unfortunately, using them as a psychological, emotional crutch. So if you've realized it's been a long time since a guy has asked you out in real life, don't personalize it. It's not that you're not beautiful enough. It's not that you're too old. Age is just a mindset, okay? But you've got to open conversations with men. And I know a lot of you are thinking, isn't that unattractive? Isn't it needy? Doesn't it come across as not the right thing to do? And actually, it's the exact opposite. And I'll explain why. I'm a man that can approach women if I'm single. And even I love it if a woman opens a conversation with me first, shows me that she's confident and a little interested in me, which makes it easier to ask her out if the conversation goes well. So comment below if you're willing to try it. Have you tried it? Let me know. Bye.
A lot of these modern women are going to have to understand that you're going to have to start taking some sort of accountability and facing some sort of consequence for your actions, right? A lot of these modern women get out here and they want to cut up. They want to act crazy. They want to do their thing, want to act silly. But then when the consequences come around, which by the way, whenever that happens, a man in a lot of these situations has to be accountable for the things that he's doing. But a woman, you hear from her, I'm just a girl. I didn't even know. I thought that, this would, I don't know what happened. But can you fix it as the man? No, I'm not going to continue to fix your problems. At some point in time, this is what men are looking for. At some point in time, I want you to see the error of your ways. Nobody is perfect. That much is true. But I want you to stop behaving in this pattern consistently, where you continue to put me in a bad spot. And I got to deal with your consequences because you were acting stupid. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but you went out there and ran your mouth. And now you want me to fight this guy. This guy's 6'3", 250. And you want me to go over there and get knocked out, get knocked over a bar, get knocked into an alcohol shelf or something like that. You want me to go out, man? Come on, dog.
That sounds about right. I mean, when you deal with someone whose integrity, character, and commitment were built around selfishness, non-reciprocation, and ego, then you realize some people want validation and attention a lot more than they want love in their life. And love ain't always so loving, is it? It's issues, disagreements, it's forgiving, it's compromising. And how much of that did you have in your relationship? Because we can paint the relationship in this wonderful light, but when you feel like you're holding the weight of love for two whole individuals, it gets exhausting. And eventually, it causes resentment and anger. And it ain't your responsibility to handle a partnership as a sole proprietorship. That's not how this works. You needed them in those bad moments to have your back, to be honest yet respectful, to be stern yet loving, to be understanding yet tell you what you needed to know and not what you wanted to hear. And they couldn't be that. And that's okay. Because now that they're in a new relationship, you think they turned into all that overnight now? Or did they just find some unassuming new supply that they about to put through the same that they put you through?
A lot of these modern women like to continue to treat men like a clown. Amusement. Why does a man approach me? There's a lot of risks involved in approaching. There's a lot of disrespect involved in approaching. It don't matter where you go, seemingly with these modern women nowadays, you get treated like you crossed some type of line and you done something wrong. Like you just eliminated somebody. That's the way they treat you. They look at you like you're a criminal off bat. Let me ask you a question. Who would want to go through that? Which person? Even you. If you go up, like say for instance, if you're sitting in a restaurant and you go up to a waiter and you say, hey, we hadn't gotten our drinks yet. It'd be okay if, we haven't been able to order, haven't had anybody come to our table to even see what we wanted or greet us. If that whole staff turned around and looked at you like, what are you doing over here? You instantly leave a review and walk out of there and go find somewhere else to go. Don't go here. It's trash. The service was terrible. We got seated. Nobody. I was reading a post today or over just down the line. People say, oh, it's a trash place. The food is trash and the service was even worse. They're leaving reviews about it. And so now, even if I was thinking about going, I'm not going because you telling me the service is so bad. That's how you are as a modern woman. Nobody's approaching you because you're disrespectful. It is a risk to approach you. Now they're looking at you saying, man, if this woman is trash, if her attitude is trash, why would I even be over there?
One of my favorite things that I see on this app is non-single people telling us single people to get off the apps. The apps are terrible. Yeah, they are terrible. But they're like, go out, you know? Oh yeah, girl, just get ready and go out. The guys will come approach you. Yeah, they're either weird or do nothing. There's no man that just walks up with like a cute funny line, like, I don't know, like a cute little pickup line. They don't do that anymore. They have no balls. Like, no balls. And I have these little cards that I made I made a few videos ago about like, I made it to hand out at the Little Rock Marathon, and it's fine. I have those, so if I really want to make a move, I'll do that. But like, why aren't the men menning? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just find that really odd. They don't do anything. They just stare at you. They'll be in the corner like this. Like, am I supposed to do something about this? I thought you were a leader.
A lot of these modern women, whether you're a single mother or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same, right? It's just that a lot of times single mothers they're a little bit more, some of these women, not all women, but some of these women, they're a little bit more, they have a heightened, and I understand it, a heightened awareness of the things that are going on around them, right? But even at that, you still have to audition for the man as well. A lot of times a lot of these modern women are like, well, a man has to audition for me. He has to do X, Y, and Z. He has to show me this, and this. And sometimes they be asking a man to do stuff that has nothing to do with dating or courting or anything. That's just what I wanted, right? So you have a lot of modern women out here. Well, I got to make sure that this is in line, and I'm a single mother, so I have standards, and my standards are even higher, and this and that. But really, honestly and truly, and this is why I mentioned it, you look at their standards, and really it's not really a higher standard. Sometimes it's just desperation. Sometimes it's just, I really need this. I really want this in my life. I really don't want to work anymore. Right? So I need a man to make enough so I can take a step back. Well, do you plan on having any other kids? No. Well, what step back are you going to be taking? You don't plan on having any other kids. That's your kid. He'll come in and be a father figure, and be the man of the house. He doesn't need to pay for you. You don't need to become a stay-at-home mom. But they be asking for things. They be, I want more from this next relationship. And they be trying to put more pressure on a man to do stuff that they can actually do themselves. If they stop being lazy or stop wanting to be mentally lazy, well, I want to do this now. No. You need to continue the stuff that you are doing and stop trying to find a man to dump all your problems on, whether it's financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You need to continue to handle your business.
It's not desperate or pathetic to want to find a partner or someone to love, or there is that kind of energy where it's like, look at me, I'm here on display and I'm waiting for you to claim me. And it's just like, ooh, I don't like that. Like, why can't we just be like cool first? Like, don't. I wish we'd go back to when guys are just always walking up to you when you're out. Like, could you imagine? Oh my gosh, if you're like at the grocery store, at the gym, they're like, hi, I just couldn't help but say you're so beautiful. Like, I'd love to take you out sometime if you're single. If they were like good looking, I'm like, can we go back to those times? But because like society has more and more changed women to be like the chasers or like things like this, it's like making a lot of men be like, oh, I can just sit back. And I'm like, I hate that.
About 63% of men under the age of 30 are single, and a majority of them aren't even trying to date. Why do you think that is?
I think that they have trauma from past relationships, and that has kind of formed their perspective on women and dating, and they're making decisions based on their trauma because, right, they don't want to get hurt again. They don't want to put themselves in a position of being vulnerable, and I think it's just easier to be alone and mess around than it is to actually have a solid relationship because that requires work.
She's single, and she says to DM her on Instagram.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Welcome to episode 2 of Single in the Wild, where I put myself out there to answer the question every single lady is wondering. Where are all the good single men at? because dating apps suck and we're getting off them in 2026. So when the team at VGK hit me up and said, we heard you're looking for love at our games. Want to ride the Zamboni? I was like, absolutely. That's been on my bucket list since high school when I used to go to the Wranglers games. So we got there early, did the whole pregame thing. I even got free hair tinsel. Y'all, I'm officially in my VGK girly era. We stopped to get food and they're serving chicken tendies and fries in a mini Zamboni. I love going to Golden Knights games. The crowd is always so hype and the energy is just unmatched. Before I knew it, it was time to hop up on that glorious Zamboni and ride around on the ice. I had so much fun waving at the crowd, and the arena from that angle is crazy. Huge shout out to the VGK team because that was such a cool experience and I'm so grateful. And for the record, I didn't know they were going to tell people to DM me. But yes, I did get messages, a lot of them. And I'm not going to lie, it was a little chaotic, which honestly just reinforced my point. I want to meet someone in real life, in the wild, not through a flood of DMs, which is why we stopped at Hyde after the second period and ended up running into a bunch of friends. Hyde was popping during this game, and again, lots of attractive men, and I did observe some of them approaching women, so I'd like to think episode 1 of my series helped encourage that.
Rent is paid, car note is paid, and now I see $800 in takeout charges for this month alone.
So, you make 6 figures, Cole. Stop penny pinching. A provider is supposed to provide without complaining.
I provide the shelter and the raw materials. The traditional deal is that you convert those resources into a home. Where is dinner?
Dinner? Are you kidding? It's 2026. I'm not your maid. I don't belong in the kitchen.
Interesting. So you are a modern woman when it comes to cooking, but you identify as a traditional woman when the bills arrive.
I bring other value. I bring my presence. I bring feminine energy and beauty. You should be happy a woman like me chose you.
Beauty is a depreciating asset. It drops in value every single year. You're trying to pay a 30-year mortgage with a currency that crashes in 10.
Wow. You are so transactional. Relationships are about partnership, not assets and liabilities.
Partnership implies a shared load. If I pull the cart and you just sit in the cart, you are not a partner, you are cargo.
I'm not cargo. I manage the vibes. I make this house a home just by being here.
You make this house a mess, and you want the CEO salary for the intern job description. That math doesn't work.
You are toxic. A real high-value man wouldn't ask his wife to work. He would spoil her.
A high-value man invests in value. He doesn't subsidize laziness. You want the prize without running the race.
Fine. Then hire a maid, hire a cook. Since you are so rich, just outsource it.
If I outsource the cooking, the cleaning, and the peace, then what do I need you for?
What are you saying, Cole?
I'm saying that in corporate terms, if a role has no function, the position becomes redundant. Pick a lane. Tradition is a trade, not a donation. Meeting adjourned.
Nobody is ever single by a choice. They're single because they can't get what they want. That goes for men and women, okay? Yes, there is a period in early adulthood where people will not be in relationships because they're too busy, exploring other people and whatnot, right? And men might be busy building wealth and doing whatever they're doing. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're 35, 45, 55, whatever, right? And you are saying that you're single by choice, what you really mean is you have not been afforded what it is that you want, okay? Whether the person that you do love or like or would be going for isn't the person that's willing to choose you or accept you, or you keep coming across people that you feel like don't deserve you, so you don't choose them. It really comes down to there's a disconnect between what you want and what you're able to actually get, okay? And even when people make comments like, oh, I'm being celibate for 10 years, 15 years, blah, 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 and oh, I don't want any man to touch me, like once you do it for so long, you realize all men are blah, 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 blah. You're really just admitting that you don't get what it is that you want out of life, okay? It's that simple. And the reality is, if you worked on things about yourself a little bit more, everything about your quantum energy would be different and you would be more aligned with the life that you like. Now, of course, people get divorced, they were in relationships, they get out of those relationships, etc., right? And obviously you will have a period of being single. But if you specifically say you're single by choice, no, you're not. Whether indirectly or directly, you are being forced to be single. Meaning if someone you wanted and you could actually get was in your space, all that whole I want to be.
And you also have to look at the one-sided effort and modern women not reciprocating, right? Because, you know, they'll say, well, where are the men at? Why can't I find a man to do X, Y, and Z? Or why is a man not talking to me? How come I can't find a man to do this, this, and this? I'm a provider, and all of the list of things that they always want. I can't find that. Well, actually, you can, because once again, the men are everywhere. You just don't notice them because you're looking for, honestly and truly, we probably don't call it this, but a genie is what you're looking for. You're looking for a man to come in and just wipe away all your problems. Okay, with my first wish, I want you to wipe away all my problems and put me in my soft girl era, and I don't want to have any problems ever again. That's actually 3 wishes. But modern women would probably argue a genie down and say, well, that's 1 wish because I said it all in one breath. No, the first wish would have been me wiping your slate clean. All the problems that you have, me wiping that. You want to be put into your soft girl era? That's another wish. And you saying, I want no problems ever again? That's a 3rd wish. So you've actually effectively used all your wishes. No, but because I said it, and like I said, they try to argue you down. That's what modern women do to men. And this is why men just end up opting out and they end up leaving. Because a modern woman will sit up there and argue a man down when a man be dead right about something. This woman is dead wrong. But because the way they see it and what their interpretation is, they'll continue living their life in that way, right? And that's how you have one-sided effort and no reciprocity. Because a modern woman will sit up there and argue, man, no, this is the bare minimum. I deserve this, 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 and this. And a man is like, that's not the bare minimum. I bought you a car. Well, that's what my man should be doing. I'm not your man, though. I'm not your man. Well, you know, that's something that you decided to do. Right, because I wanted to show you that I really liked you. Well, you know, nobody asked you to do that. Regardless if anybody asked me to do it, I still did it. I bought you the car, and you're not showing any signs of being grateful. And so when I pull back and say, okay, you know what, you can have the car, or you know what, I pay for your nails, whatever. Take your little nails and go on about my business. About your business. Modern women, they don't realize they actually messed up a good opportunity. And if a man has paid for your car or paid your rent or paid any type of bill for you, and that's actually a genuine man, you just messed up your bag because of your bad attitude. That's why a lot of men opt out, because I know my effort is not going to be rewarded. I know she really don't like me, and all of the stuff that I'm doing for her is not going to be reciprocated at all.